Hari Om. Is there any spiritual technique by which we can take correct decisions and do the right actions in our life? Yes, the practice of Mahayoga is basically that esteemed ultimate spiritual technique with the practice of which our focus will always be on the presence of Bhagavan, and thereby keeping the focus as such, the decisions and actions will mostly follow appropriately. When we are faced with any difficult moments in life, even in those difficult moments, to the extent our attention is on the presence of Bhagavan within, as the mind will be antarmukam, inwardness of the mind, then even in those difficult moments, since our mind is very peaceful and calm, as it is merged in the presence of Bhagavan, being quiet and silent without anxieties, then naturally the right decisions and the appropriate course of action will reveal itself to us. What is the right way, which way we should take our decision, what kind of actions we can do in those moments. So all these things, the appropriate ideas will come from within. To the extent we are aligned with the presence of Bhagavan. So the open secret is that we should never leave the presence of Bhagavan. The presence of Bhagavan is there always for all of us. Even now, without knowing, we are always in the presence of Bhagavan only. Only we have to be conscious of it. How we can be conscious? By understanding with our own experience that we are always in the presence of Bhagavan. When we understand that we are in that presence, then will we ever leave that presence? Imagine we are sitting in the presence of Bhagavan, say sometime in 1930s or 1940s. Will we, or would we have been walking away from the presence of Bhagavan when Bhagavan was being seated in the hall inside the ashram? No. We will be in the presence of Bhagavan as much possible, and we will not take our attention away from the presence of Bhagavan. In those days it was the physical presence, as Bhagavan was there in the physical form. As Bhagavan normally used to say, the physical form stays for some time, and after that the physical form is not available. But the presence is infinite, eternal, unchanging. So the presence of Bhagavan is there always, as he himself has told so many times, that only we have to look within. Then he is always there. His presence is always there as our own pure awareness. So even though we don't have the physical presence of Bhagavan, still we can always be in his presence by keeping quiet, by being still, so that we can be conscious of that presence in the form of the I am, the awareness of the existence. So being in that presence, there is nothing which is more valuable for us in this life that we should leave that presence. So being in that presence, we can engage in all the activities. We can do whatever work that we need to do in our life. It may be any kind of place. So, whatever we may be doing, wherever we may be living, the presence of Bhagavan is always there for us, and only we need to avoid leaving that presence. We should not be leaving that presence. This is what is very important. So, to the extent we always remain in that presence, to that extent the decisions and actions will follow the right course. So, the secret here is that we just keep aside our worries, our anxieties, our issues in life, and whatever may be happening in our external life, we should never leave that presence of Bhagavan. If we have that extreme focus, then all other things in life will get managed by itself. So, to experience this truth, one must be extremely watchful, vigilant, and understand the value of being in the presence of Bhagavan all the time. Then our life will be taken care of by itself. There is no higher thing in life than being in the presence of Bhagavan. And if we can do that all the time, as the presence is available to us always, here and now, every moment of our life. So, we should be so focused in this particular thing that we shall never leave that presence of Bhagavan. Then naturally, the decisions we take or the actions we are engaging with will be appropriate and mostly will go in the right direction. At times it may not be even to our liking, but still we need to understand that whatever happens, happens for our highest good, happens by the will of Bhagavan. When we are being in the presence of Bhagavan, then basically we are leaving everything to Bhagavan. In the sense that we do our activities, we do whatever activities we have to perform in our life, the duties, the job, whatever it is. But internally, to the extent we remain in the presence of Bhagavan, to that extent our decisions and actions will be aligned with the Supreme Will. Arunachala Shiva.